is Rowena Dooley asking Soul citizens to report for duty. This is Rowena Dooley asking Soul citizens to report for duty.
Greetings, and welcome to the Soul Voices Show. It is Saturday, the June the 3rd. I'm GriffinGamingRPG, and welcome back for another fun week of conversation. And man, I am truly excited to be here today. I've got some really cool topics that I want to be able to share with you guys. Bear with me here because, as always, there's always some little technical thing going on here, and I need to make sure that my tweet goes out. There we go. All right. So welcome again to the show. As you guys know, Soul Voices is our one-on-one conversation where we get to talk with you, those of you in the community, and share your thoughts with topics that I bring that are found on Spectrum and found on Reddit. And then sometimes I just make up some questions. Volume's low. Okay. How's that, guys? Is that better? Tell me, is that better? I'm looking for some feedback in the chat. Is that better? Better. 5x5. Thank you, Kai. All right. Thank you, guys. I'm glad you're here. Yeah. I have this weird mixed thing. I have to use two different softwares when I stream my stuff versus Soul Citizen stuff. And I can't get them together. I'm trying, but thanks for the help anyway. Yeah, we're going to be talking about some cool topics. But before we get into that, I want to talk about a new campaign that we have started with the Soul Citizens. As you guys know, we from time to time do charity benefits. And about 2 years ago, we did a benefit for St. Jude. We raised just under $2,000 when we did the radio rebroadcast of War of the Worlds, H.G. Wells. You guys came through, I think, with $1,800. Our goal was $2,000 that year. But hey, we did it. We did a great thing for the kids and for families. And so we are once again returning back to St. Jude. And this year we're doing a campaign that they have for live streamers called Play Live. And though we're not playing a game right now, we will be later today. And so we will talk about it when we're playing this evening. But whenever we do our shows now, whether it's going to be Soul Talk, Soul Voices, Soul Citizens on Sunday, we're going to be talking about this charity campaign. And our goal for doing this campaign is actually, believe it or not, a very ambitious goal of, well, $10,000. Yeah, that's what it is. It's 10 grand. But we're not trying to raise that in one day. We're not trying to raise that in 1 month. We are looking to raise that over the next one, let's see, June, July, August, September, October, 5 months. So that's $2 grand a month, right? Now, the realistic goal is 5 grand, but the ultimate goal is 10 grand. And we do have like little milestones that each time we go up, we're going to do. So when we reach our $500 goal, we're going to be giving away a soul gift package. It will consist of the water bottles we have, the tumblers, the glasses, the shot glasses, a shirt, stuff like that. That's all going to go in there for anybody. Or we're going to do a giveaway, I should say, for that. And then at the 1,000 mark, we're going to do a Chairman's Club package. This will be all CIG related merchandise. So you'll get the Chairman's Club hat, the Chairman's Club executive polo, the messenger bag, the journal, the key ring. At $2,000, we're going to give away a UEE Navy field jacket with the UEE naval cap. At $3,000, we are going to do a 12-hour live stream, which will feature us playing games, doing more interviews, talking about the game, and then also have some special guests that will come on and join us as well. At $4,500, we will give away a Crusader Genesis Starliner, as it was known, but it is now the Genesis. So we're going to do that. And then at $5,000, we are going to give away a Banu Merchantman. And so that's going to be the targets that we go for. And actually, the numbers might change a little bit. I think I changed those numbers a little bit. So the tiers those are the prizes, but the tier numbers may be a little bit different. I've kind of thought about that. But if we reach $10,000, if we do $10,000, we are going to give away a Origin 890 jump. I don't know. We'll think about that. Maybe we'll do a choice between an 890 jump and an Endeavor Master Set. Because I don't think I've ever heard anybody give away an Endeavor Master Set. I know someone's given away an 890 jump before, but man, an Endeavor Master Set might be cool too. That's we'll have to think about that. Maybe because it's only $50 difference. So maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll give the option of either or for what people want. People may not be willing to spend the money for an 890, but if you give them one, hey, they'll take it. Anyway, yeah, what is the Master Set? The Master Set is the full loadout for the MISC Endeavor. That's the Endeavor ship, which runs around $350, but all of the modules. You get every one of them all in one package. And the benefits to that is that everything's LTI. But also, you get a bonus. You guys know they have the biodomes. You get an extra biodome in there, if I'm not mistaken. And also, there is is it the collider or the telescope? I don't know. There's something in there that's very difficult to get. And so, hey, don't be talking about that. Hey, don't be talking about it. Endeavor's cooler than the 890 jump. You might get banned for that. All right. I'm just kidding. But again, we'll see. Maybe we'll leave it up to whoever wins which one they prefer, because the value of them is just about equal. So, again, there may be some people who maybe want to spend that money, but hey, if you give it to them, yeah, glad I'll take it. So anyway, that's where we are. Now, the thing for this challenge is that it goes till October 22nd, which is going to be the weekend of CitrizenCon. So that's our target. We're trying to raise this money by then. So over the weeks and few months coming up, if you want to give, charitably give, don't forget these are charitable donations, which you can put on your taxes for charity. But we're going to do that, building up to that time frame. Okay. So just to let you know, that's where things will be for this. Okay. So yeah, we'll talk about that more each week. I'm not going to beat the dead horse right now, or the live horse, I should say, because it's a play live, St. Jude play live. But we will talk about it. But we've already raised $100. Fast Cart started this on Thursday, and man, we're 1/5 of the way to the first one. So that's great. Who was that who did that? Somebody gave us something. I don't know who that was. I gotta look. I don't have my right stream up here. Who was that? Who subscribed? CC Creator. Good to see you. Hey, thank you, CC. Now, I do want to mention, please make sure that you use the barcode that you see, the QR code that's on the screen. That will take you to St. Jude's Tiltify website. That's the official site. If you're subscribing to us, we appreciate that. That's wonderful. We really do appreciate it. But we want all the money to go to St. Jude. So if you're going to give toward that, please use the barcode. So if you do a subscription, it comes to Soul Citizens. That's how we do our giveaways and stuff. You guys help us run the show with that. But if you do want to give to St. Jude, use the barcode. It's on the screen. Use your phone. And yeah, you can screen copy it, whatever you want to do. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and jump into it. I know we got some folks out here. I usually try to give some shout outs for who's in the room, and I'm sorry I didn't do it when I first got here, but I see Cataclysm's here. Drowse. Oh, Drowse is here. Is Drowse or Drowsy? Is it Drowse? You have to tell me, dude, how to pronounce that one day. Cypress is here. Fast Cards here. Cataclysm's here. Pops in Space is here. Eminence, good to see you. All the cool people are here. Kai was here. New Soul Sounds is here. Carbon Tails Q. Hey, what's up, buddy? Good to see you, man. I was watching you guys last night. The baby's getting big, dude. Let's see who else. Dos Maximus is here. Awesome. Okay, well, good. We got a good crew to kick us off today. All right. I hope you guys are ready to get your thinking caps on. Shipwreck, what's up? Boss Lady B. All right. So I hope you guys are ready for this because I'm going to hit you with some stuff today. So brace yourselves, okay? Let's start out easy, right? Let's ease into it all today. Let's see. We're going to go here, and we're going to go there, and we're going to go here. Now, I think Fast Card is here. If he is, he's usually on it for me, but I'm going to put this in anyway. Okay, our first topic for today is this one. Cutlass Black price increase by SerifAdnan. Okay. The Cutlass Black went for sale. Let me drop the link in for you guys so you can follow it if you want. The Cutlass Black went for from 100 to 110, referring to dollars, you guys, okay? Without warning. Why? I really appreciate the heads up on the hurricane increase. Why would you increase prices unannounced? He emphasizes unannounced. Right after a big event as well, so people's CCU chains might get wrecked. The best thing is that you could buy the Cuddy to Nova CCU War Bond, and now it's worth $10. So thanks for any clarification, CIG. Then he puts an edit in there and says, as people mentioned, the Avenger Titan, the Vanguard Harbinger prices have also increased as well. Okay, so that's what this person is saying, and there's a little bit of sarcasm, a little bit of salt in there. I don't think they were too happy with these price increases. So let me go ahead and bring in Kai Zen, or bring him in with us, and get things kicking. Kai, are you there? Hey, buddy, how are you?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good, man. You know what? I didn't have my voice activity on.
That's all good.
So I can hear you clearly now. Yeah,
right on.
Pardon me. Yeah, give me your thoughts, man. You read what this person had to say about the price increase.
Right. So there's I'm a little bit all over the place with this one because I get where he's coming from.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, this is how they do business. This is how they've always done business. This adds to the FOMO level of their marketing of, yes, buy all the ships, buy them all now, because when they go up in price, because spoiler alert, ships never go down in price. When they go up in price, you'll already have it, and then you will save that money. This is part of their some would say brilliant, some would say predatory. I leave it up to each person to decide for themselves sort of marketing technique, marketing ploy, marketing scheme, marketing plan, however you want to say it.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact of the matter is this is par for the course, and this is just how it goes. If there's something that you absolutely want to, need to, have to buy,
mm-hmm.
then buy it, because I don't care what ship it is, the price will go up.
Mm-hmm.
Every time this discussion comes up, I always say the exact same thing, which is buy the ship in game. Buy it with UEC.
There you go.
Buy it with Alpha UEC and give yourself something. I strongly encourage each person, if you like, there's two ways to handle Star Citizen development gaming.
Mm-hmm.
Either A, play test the hell out of it, each section, and basically start with your starter ship or your whatever ship you have purchased or whatever ship you have access to, right?
Mm-hmm.
And build up a bankroll and aim for a ship. This time I'm going for the Blade, or well, whatever. Just
right.
like this time I'm gonna go for a Misk Prospector. Next time I'm gonna go Rock DS. Next time I want to get myself a this kind of fighter, this kind of bomber. Just play test the hell out of it. Buy one in game and go from there. If there's all of it is going to be free one day.
Okay.
And right now it's a game in development that's a long way from finished. Don't let FOMO. Like, you can have FOMO if it I'm not telling you what to do with your money. You're a big boy. Spend your money how you want to spend your money. But if you're going to let FOMO make you angry like this, if you're going to let FOMO ruin your day, if you're going to let FOMO make you smile less at your wife or be less charitable to that person next to you in traffic, okay, well then you're taking on pain or anguish, God bless you, that you don't need to have. Like, you don't need to let that get you down like that. Just play. But like, as far as, hey man, why did you do this? This is not new. This is standard procedure.
It's not the first time, right? It's not the first rodeo.
Yeah, if it's gonna bother you, lock in whatever you want to lock in, but you don't need to lock in anything because it's all free.
Okay.
In the game, man.
All right. Good suggestions.
Love you, brother.
Good advice.
Later.
Thanks, Kai. All right. Kai took us back to the FOMO show we did a couple of weeks ago. Let's bring in Pops in space next. Pops, are you there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, yes, I am. How you doing today?
Okay.
Good. Now I just want to clarify something. Because he says went, which should mean that it's already active. Isn't this for upcoming?
No. No.
Didn't they give us a warning?
That's exactly what he's saying. He's saying that the Cutlass Black, which used to be $100, raised by $10, and there was no heads up on it. Basically, is what he's saying.
No, okay, because I thought this was a heads up post when they did post it. Okay.
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right. Just wanted to make sure.
Okay, gotcha, bro.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks, Pops. All right, let's bring in Fist to Face next. Fist, how are you?
Happening, all right.
Good.
So let me make sure, because I think this is the same thing that Fastcart posted last Thursday, right?
I don't know because I wasn't watching at the time, probably, so he may have.
I'm not sure, because if it is, then if I seen this post, and I think Xylo did respond to it, he talked about, yes, in the past we have given a heads up and everything, and I think that they were going to roll it back and then say, okay, well, look, it's getting ready to come up, like give them the grace period or something.
Really?
Yeah, I believe
All
he
right,
did.
let's see. Fastcart just posted something. Let me take a look at it here.
Yeah.
In the past, we've shared that the team regularly reviews the value of offerings that may make adjustments to the base price. In this case, the Avenger Titan, Cutlass Black, Vanguard, Hoplite were adjusted by 5, 10, and 5. We certainly prefer providing advance notice, as we have recently done for the Hurricane, and we fully intend to continue this practice in the future. For the time being, we're going to revert these prices until the 27th to provide a proper grace period. There we go. All right.
That's what I thought that he said.
Okay.
So, no, I mean, back to this person's question, I understand his gripe or, his concern, because as in the past, they've given him the grace period or given him a heads up, like, hey, look, it's about to go up, so go ahead and get yours now. And to kind of drop it on him, I can understand that feeling, and everything. But I'm glad, though, that, Xylo did, put out a statement to rectify the situation, so that's my 2 cents on that.
Okay.
So,
all right. Thanks for letting me know. All right.
No problem. Yeah.
Let's bring in Jay Voodoo Child. What's up, Jay?
Yes, sir. How are you doing today?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
Most excellent.
Good.
So yeah, there's a little bit of a history at this. CI did make the price changes unannounced. There was a community outrage about that. They did come back, rolled back the prices, gave the extension to June 27th to go ahead and get in your CCUs to have an announcement ahead of time. The thing that I just wanted to bring up on this is that the Titan was used commonly as the jump-off point for the war bond offer at IAE. This not only affected the Nova war bond offer at Invictus. 6 months ago, it was a common jumping off point for another brand new ship thing that they were doing. So a lot of people were forgetting all the war bond offers made on that deal, and they're focusing on the recent Nova.
Okay.
So that's what I'm contributing to the conversation.
Okay. No. Good point to be made. Good point. I forgot all about it. So that's a good point. All right, Jay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Let's bring in FC Fastcart. And by the way, there's a link there in chat. If you guys want to come in, feel free to click on it and you can come talk to me. Yeah, FC.
Yeah, sorry about the late, clarification, but yeah, the
wasn't
price
late.
did go up,
It wasn't late.
and then they changed back, and they said to give them the grace period until the 27th. Now this is in line with what they did with the Hornet, especially the higher versions of the Hornet, like the Ghost, the Tracker, and the Super Hornet, and also the Freelancer series, the Mist and the Max and everything under that, except for the base. One went up. This is the first time I can recall that a base Cutlass or a base Freelancer or a base Hornet or something like that, the base one has gone up. So I can see how people are scaling about that. But what I recommend is, like Kai said, you can get it in game, or for now, since there is a grace period, go ahead and get the CCU at the cheaper price, and then it'll go up by $5 or $10 once the price increase on June 27th. But you don't have to spend any money on it at all. You can get everything in game, just like Kai said.
Okay, FC, I'm gonna ask that you stay in here because I haven't expressed my thoughts on this yet. I'm gonna bring in Admiral, let him talk, and then you and I are gonna talk about something. Okay? Since you covered this the other day, so let me bring Admiral Kusanagi in. Admiral, you there?
I am here. Yes.
Yes, sir. What's your thoughts you got?
I think people need to stop complaining of what I think needs to happen.
Okay.
I mean, I don't send emails and letter to Honda because the price of their service went up $10. It's the cost of doing business.
Okay.
Yes, it's $10 to us each person, but for 20,000 people, that's $200,000 for them.
Yeah.
That's the cost of probably two, maybe even 3 engineers that they actually do work for the game. Just by putting up $10. So I really don't understand. I understand like $10 for some people is a lot of money, but when you're talking about CCU chains, like, oh, I need to be able to make $10 because I'm not going to give them any more money to make the game anymore. And it's like, well, we need to make money so we can actually make the game, because the way I look at it is, if you look at the PU, the Squadron 42, and you say, okay, it's a 3-tier game, 3 games RPG. There's 3 separate games that people might not be aware of, and they're doing that RPG and then the PU. So that's 4 games really of work. You're looking at the PU at 2030. So if you want to get it before 2030, $10 is not a lot, and maybe 5 years from now might be an extra, or maybe even 2 years from now it's another $10. But if they need the money to get this game out the door so people can actually play it as a finished product, I have no problem with it.
Okay.
They're a company and they need to be able to hire people, and that's the price of doing business, and that's the price of us having to quote unquote test this game while it's in development.
Okay, fair enough. All right,
That's
Admiral.
the way I look at it.
Thank you very much. Good stuff. All right, FC, let's have our conversation.
Okay.
My thoughts are this. I think both sides have something to say about this. I think that CIG, and I'm going to reflect back to something else that happened during Invictus, and that was the removal of Squadron 42. We talked about this a little bit last week, but I'm going to talk about it again since this is up. Kai came in and Admiral came in, both saying the business has the prerogative to do what they want. But then the business also sets a precedent on how they operate, right? Squadron 42, you and I have been around long enough that we've seen how Squadron 42 morphed in the way it was packaged, right? In the beginning, you got Squadron and Star Citizen together. Then they split them up into separate purchases. Then the price changed on them. And then now it's been removed, right? So we've seen 4 stages of that. A lot of the people who've been in the game, especially over the last few years, have been around where it's been at that one stable price. And, they were separate packages. Unless you were around in the early days, you wouldn't have known that was all combined. You wouldn't have even known that when you bought your ship, Squadron 42 came with it right back in the early days, right? I mean, people just didn't know. And for some people, when Squadron disappeared, they were like, well, we know what that probably means. And then there were other people who were like, why'd they remove Squadron 42? What are they doing? Right? I mean, we had both those sides, right, going on. So there was a precedent that was subconsciously set in our backers' minds about Squadron, maybe to a certain degree that it will always be there until the game comes out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it gets removed, And then there's all these questions and wondering, and because you and I even talked about when it first happened, we said it's one of two things. Either when they did the update to the site for Invictus, they neglected to put it on there, or they're about to do some type of marketing move or something for future for the game. My thoughts to you is this. When it comes to this, even though the precedent had been that they've given some notification in the past, and I do agree with you because you made a good point about the base ship, the Cutlass Black, right, changing in price.
Yeah, the freelance and the Hornet remain the same price as what I think.
Right, yeah. and I get that, right? But so to a certain degree, there's a precedent. But is CIG locked to that precedent?
Not at all. They can change it whenever they want to. It's their business. They can change it. The thing is, it's how we react and how they react to our reaction. That's the kicker, in my opinion.
Yeah. So is this a business move, PR move, or is it just a correction, do you think, when CIG does this? When CIG says we're going to revert the price and give a grace period, is it a business move, PR move, or is it a fix?
Well, before I get into that, I just want to say that, back in the day, CIG had said, or Chris Roberts specifically said, I believe it was Chris Roberts, but CIG has said that, don't get attached to these prices. Those prices will always go up. Yep. Like in the case of Squadron 42, you said that. Yep. Eventually, Star Citizen and Squadron 42 will probably become the same price as a AAA game, namely $60 for both, because you used to be able to get $45 for both.
Right, and that used to be the price, right? Back in the day.
Yeah, exactly.
And then we've seen game prices
$40 sometimes.
Right, but my point is game prices have changed too. Back in the day, we all thought, when the full price comes out, it's going to be $49.95. Now games, like you said, are $59, $69 now.
Yeah, so my point is, like, the early bird gets the worm. The earlier you back, the earlier you get these ships, the cheaper price you'll get. Okay. So I don't. You asked me if it's a PR move or a business move. I think that's just it's kind of both, but I see it more of a business move than a PR move. But that's my opinion. Yeah.
Let me tell you what my opinion of this is, and this is where as consumers, we have to still keep our expectations in a certain place. My thing is that are you supporting the game or are you buying the game? And Admiral kind of alluded to this a little bit. We always try to tell people to temper their purchases with the idea that I'm supporting what they're doing. Kai is always good to say, hey, if I see them do something that makes me feel very positive and I see that there's some real progress going, that leans him towards saying, hey, here's some more money to give you, CIG, right? We just came out of that whole 3.18 period where people were miserable, right? People couldn't load into the game and everything else. And you would think to a certain degree that would kind of help make some people feel like, well, man, I'm not giving them any more money, man, because for 6 weeks, I couldn't even log into the game, but they want me to buy another ship. You know what I mean? No, that's not what happened, right? What happened? People still spent money, right?
Well, I'm going to look at Urkel real quick, but I believe they made less money in this Invictus than last year.
Fast card. Did you see how short they fell?
Yeah, it's real close.
It went up. Right. It's real close, right? It's real close. I'm just saying. Considering everything they sold was less than $100, they almost made the same amount of money that they made last year with all the drama with 3.18 leading up to it. Okay. So my point is that, yeah, I get it. I get the precedence that CIG may have previously kind of gave a heads up, but I also understand that, man, how can you say, okay, I'm going to say this last thing. We're going to move on to the next topic, y'all. Wikipedia just posted yesterday, saying that 3.19.1 is about to come out. We anticipate that we will, how did he put it? He phrased it to say, like, we don't plan on doing a wipe. Now, you know what that says to me?
What?
That means don't pay attention to that. A wipe could happen.
Yeah.
Okay? Now,
yeah,
there will be people who saw him say, we don't plan on doing a wipe. And if they, for some reason, have to wipe, they're going to go ape. My attitude is every time a patch comes out, they might wipe. And
okay,
my
are you
attitude,
talking about the
server,
about the 3.19.1 long,
the live server. Yeah. And my point is, go ahead. No, go ahead.
No. Oh, I had the post right here. It said that with the upcoming 319 to live environment, we'd like to moment to update it, give you a heads up, basically. And it said, yeah, with meaning that we'll hold on to the long-term persistent data from 319.0 to 319.1. But that said, due to issues with long-term persistent in 319.0 and earlier, certain items have not been fully correctly saving to the database. So yeah, what Griffin said is accurate. They're saying that they don't plan on a wipe, but you know, between all of us in the community, don't hold them to that.
Right. And my attitude is plan for a wipe all the time. If it doesn't happen, it's icing on the cake. If it doesn't happen, it's icing on the cake. But to save my mental stress, I don't count on them not wiping. And I'm saying that in relation to prices for ships. They are going to go up. It's been 10 years. Someone just mentioned in chat, they're surprised that the Avenger had not gone up. The Titan hadn't gone up in all this time. It's kind of the same thing. That sucker's been flat rated for a long time. So I guess what I'm saying is that I always leave room. Just like, remember how we talked about getting stuff back from our buyback hangers? Ben Lesnick said long time ago, we're going to try to give you guys a heads up when buyback hangers are going to go away. Right?
Not just buyback. Yeah, people may not know that buyback hangers will go away. CCUs will go away.
CCUs too.
They should give us a heads up.
Now CCUs I can understand. No, CCUs I can understand. I definitely understand that. But I'm just saying, even though they've said that, I keep my finger on the trigger with my buybacks, so just in case something weird comes up, because you just don't know. You know, there's some stuff in there I really do want. Now, if they came back and just decided, well, we're not going to do buyback hangers, I'd probably be a little upset because they said that. But at the same time, it's like they're a business, and it's difficult.
Casio said the Titan did go up. I think we mean with the variant, the Titan, the Avenger Stalker was once the Avenger or something like that.
Right.
So yes, instead of just having one Avenger, we have three now. So in that reference, the Titan did go up, but not really.
Right.
CID could argue a different way.
Right. So anyway, that's it. I'm going to move on to the next subject because we beat this dead horse.
Okay.
But since you had covered it on Thursday, I guess I got here late Thursday. I missed when you talked about this, but at least, I just wanted to kind of have that conversation with you. Okay.
No problem.
All right, buddy. All right. Let me go ahead and get into this next topic here. Thanks guys for that. That was good. I doubt many people really care about the price increase. It's the decisions they made during the week of sales getting nuked the day after. That could be the case too. All right, here we go, guys. Let's go on to the next one here. Okay. Oh God, I know people are going to jump in on this one. Is this griefing? CIG, why isn't guys, I put this in verbatim, okay? I don't try to correct people's spelling. Why isn't you can't solve these problems by TyWen? Okay? Blocking the elevators where you can't get into it. Here, you cannot enter the elevator nor move the obstacle. Had to run around and keep calling an elevator until I got one that wasn't foobarred. Exited an elevator and I'm stuck. Can't vault, jump, erect, move the obstacle. Okay, let me tell you, there was a second picture here. I didn't put it on here where someone also put one of those carts outside the elevator. So then when he finally did get a good elevator and went downstairs, he couldn't get off. He couldn't get off the elevator. Okay. So the question here is this griefing? Okay. Is this griefing? I got Kai Zen. He's already here. Let me bring Kai in. Kai, you there?
Hello.
Hey, buddy.
So is it griefing? Sort of, yes, in the sense of it's being a dick, but it's also playtesting.
Okay.
This is good for this to happen because people will be mischievous, and if you get them a set of tools and no real game loops that are like completed, finished game loops, you will end up with, I wouldn't call it griefing. Here's what I would call it. I would call it trolling. And so as that is the case where it's just somebody giggling going, haha, I'm going to do something funny with the geometry. I'm going to screw the system. Is that helpful to do? It's a dick move, but it actually is helpful in that they get back a ton of diagnostics and what statistics and whatever. They get back data off of that and then go, oh, here's a weakness in our system that we need to resolve. Here's a thing that makes our game unfun for those people that are playing it. Let's fix this long before it gets to release date. So it is trolling, but griefing, if I kill you over and over because I'm a dick, like I just enjoy flying around and killing you because I'm like, oh, look at me, I'm Captain Sweaty PvP. That's not griefing, that's just being a dick. If I kill you because you're black, that's griefing. If I kill you because you're test, that's griefing. If I kill you because you're American, if I kill you because you're a man, if I kill you because you're a Christian, all of these things, or if I kill you for no reason at all, but I'm in chat the whole time saying hateful personal attack stuff that's out of game stuff, that is griefing. What this is a person who doesn't know you, being a troll, being a jerk, and messing with the systems. And it's really good for CIG to get that information and fix it now before it gets, because playtesters have a higher threshold of shit they'll put up with.
Right.
First purchasers who have bought a released game, they will much less so put up with your shit. So this is the time to do it.
Cool. All right, trolling. We'll take that as a definition. Thanks, bud.
Yep.
All righty, let's bring in Pops in space next. Pops.
Hey.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's, well, like Kai said, it's just really basically all part of doing it now. You know, so CIG can maybe, I don't know if they can find a way to block things like that from happening to make things smoother, but
But I think he mentions that because, like, you know, when you get the dollies or the trolleys that, you know, for the hospital and stuff, usually you can grip them and maybe you could just grab them and pull them out. But right now the mechanic is once it gets in the elevator, you're unable to pull it out. So you get stuck. So to a certain degree, CIG could probably make sure that we have the mechanic so if somebody does that, you can grab it and move it.
Yeah,
right?
you can grab it. This person is just having, I mean, he couldn't get on and then he couldn't get off. He's just having a really bad
day, right?
And if he needs to know, I'm sympathetic.
Okay. All right, Pops. Thank you, brother. Pops says I feel you, brother. I feel you. All right, let's bring in Fist to Face. Fist, you there?
Yeah, I'm gonna echo Pops and Kai, because I mean I've seen this in DC Universe, and more recently we've seen this in Immortal. As you remember, they used to do with when Immortal, when you want to get to the bank or you want to get over there to a certain NPC, they'll body block you with the horses, right? They would body block you with the horses. And matter of fact, it was funny though, because they did that, and it was in Bhakti, and the GM got on, and he got on, and he killed him.
Yeah,
he killed him, and we stopped. But anyway, but that's another story to get into all of that. But no, I mean, I think again, like I said, these types of things I would rather see happen now than later.
Okay.
Again, like I said, it is trolling. I don't think it's griefing. It is trolling. I hope definitely in the future they will put handles you can be able to grip the
it's weird. That's just it. I think it's when it goes on the grid where the elevator is, so it's like that's when it becomes a problem, because you can obviously you can grip it, zoning, move it. There's just something weird going on there.
So once it crosses that threshold of zone, it becomes uninteractable. I get what it is. Okay. So yeah, that's something I'm quite sure that's in the works. It's just not high priority right now.
Well, you remember they showed us a little while ago the whole being able to move items through to elevators and stuff, and like you said, they're probably still just working on that. So in time, hopefully it'll get there.
It will get there. Now, if you remember real quick, you mentioned something about this a long time ago in reference to this, and saying that let's say this could actually become gameplay. Because what if somebody, you're in a battle and you get blown up or whatever, something happens, and you're at some station, and somebody who's on the other side of the team decides to block
Yeah, it's like a little form of sabotage or whatever. And I mean, and that's cool. It just needs to be equaled out so that you have a way to respond to it, right? Because what you're really trying to do is slow somebody down. If you really want to make a headache, you get 8 of those suckers and put it out there. No, I'm just saying. But as long as the other people have a means to try to counter it, it may take them more time. But to shut down, and I think obviously the frustration here is this is at an elevator when you're coming out of the hab, right? So you can't, quote unquote, even get into the game. You know what I mean? Right. This isn't like going down to where your ship is or something like that. Even then, that would still be a blocker. But I mean, you can't even get out past your bed. Like one time I had somebody do it. They put them out in front of the doors of the habs. And so when you wake up in your bed, you open the door, there's a freaking cart right there. You know,
I like it.
So
I love it though. It's just funny.
Yeah. Now don't get me wrong. If there was a means for me to go and grab it and move it, I'd say, okay, idiot, and keep going. But the fact that they put it a certain way, you couldn't do it. So now guess what I have to do? And here's the immersion breaker. Yeah. The immersion breaker is I actually have to leave the game to respond to it. See, if I could do something in game to respond to it, I can deal with it. But now you maybe have to literally log out of the game. And now with persistence puts you back sometimes in the same server, which means you could also wake up in the same hab. So it's not like back in the day where you just automatically go back in the server and you knew you're going to come in some random spot. You might land right back where you were before. So to Kai's point, and you said it earlier, for testing, if there's a time to find it, this is the time to find it.
You know what they should do though? So because we know the handles are on the front and the back, but they don't have handles on the side. So that interaction of you, unfortunately, you won't have that. You need to put in a game, CIG, if you're listening, put a kick interaction
or push
or something like
kick, push, whatever, just something that allows you to, because it's physicalized.
Right, exactly.
It's physicalized.
Collision, as soon as you kick it, boom, and then knocks over. There
even if it's like a kind of, having to push it out of the way thing, it's not as immediate. But again, you just need some form to be able to respond to when somebody does something. If you feel like you're helpless and I can't do anything, well, now you've broken the whole immersion aspect of the game, right? Which is, and to Kai's point, right? This is a troll move. It's not a griefing move because he's, like I said, it's not like you're picking on any particular person, but it is definitely a troll move. Okay. All right, buddy. Yeah. Thank you, man. Alrighty. Okay. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right. We got some laughs out of that one, a few kicks out of that one. Those two, by the way, were on Spectrum. Thank you guys for dropping in. Don't forget, if you want to come in, we'd love to have you. By the way, you guys are awesome people. We have already gone from $100 to $200. We are already at $200, heading toward our first goal of $500. You guys are amazing for St. Jude's charity. So for the Play Live charity, once again, we're looking to raise $5,000 to $10,000. Well, $10,000 is what we really want to raise by CitrizenCon by October. So thank you guys for those charitable contributions. We appreciate that. You guys are moving quick on that. Okay, let's go to our next fun-filled topic here. All right. I saw this on Reddit and I loved it. And I'm not hating on Drake, y'all. I'm not hating. So you Drake lovers, keep your shirt on. You already don't have enough stuff in your ship. Don't lose your shirt too. Let me read this one to you. Drake tape desktop prop by Skeeto70. Drake interplanetary duct tape. All right. People always joke around about duct tape for the Drake ships. I think Drake ships are very cool. I'm not into the utilitarian thing, but I think they are like designed so cool. You get on one, you're on one. They have the familiarity in them. You know what to look for when you're in there. They've got like the gas grill like I used to use for Boy Scouts. I think they're very cool. But this is what I want to talk about this. We just came out of Invictus. DrakeCon, as you guys know, closed out Invictus the last couple days. And if you remember last year, Drake actually, if I'm remembering correctly, hosted IAAE. And they have this theme that they're developing of power to the people. Now, for those of you who weren't around in the early days, the lore of Drake has always been the same. It really hasn't changed. But CIG in the beginning kind of alluded to or inferred or implied that Drake ships were often the ones used by scoundrels and pirates, right? that they were the ones who mostly bought these ships. Now, is it because they were suppliers to pirates? Well, according to the official statement from Drake, that is not the case. And even to a certain degree, CIG has explained why pirates and those folks go after these ships. One, they're plentiful in the verse. They're inexpensive, not only to buy, but even more to repair. Okay. It is like the common vehicle to a certain degree. And when you look at the lore that Drake put out last year for IAE, their theme was, again, about power to the people. If you don't know the lore, Drake actually did try to get contracts from the UEE to be able to have their ships purchased by them. The UEE opted not to go for them. They went with Aegis and Anvil. And ultimately, Drake said, well, you know what? This is all bureaucracy, blah, 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 blah. This is all political, probably. We're going to make sure that the people can also be able to balance things out, right? Just not you, pardon the politics of this big government you guys are going to run. No, we're going to make sure that the people have access to protect themselves and do what they need to do. So Drake's ships became accessible to the civilian market. Okay. That was kind of the idea for it. So my question to you is Drake's changing? It looks like they're really trying to prop up their image in the verse. Is it something that you think about? Is it something that you think about in relation to purchasing their ships? Or when you see their ships, do you think piracy? Do you think, yeah, this is when I get my pirate crew together, we're going to go out, or my mercenaries, we're going to do blah, 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 blah in Drake ships, okay? Now, I will say this about Drake, and I'm going to start bringing folks in. Drake ships are, because they are, as I mentioned, inexpensive. I'm not going to say cheap. I'm going to say inexpensive. They cost less than many other ships. And because you can get the parts and stuff for them, they have talked about the fact that they are built a little bit lesser of quality, right? They take a little bit more damage. Maybe things might fail on them. When you're flying them, maybe components of parts may wear, not components, but let's say parts may wear, things of that nature. Maybe armor's not as great, right? It's one of those things where you get what you pay for with them. Is that a factor for you right now? You know, in the game, there's no armor per se. So, you know, most ships, we don't even think about, you know, is the build quality of the ship the one I want? Do I feel like it'll sustain me in the verse? Now, on the other side of the coin, Drake parts is supposed to be much more easier to get. So if you want to be outside of the UEE space and you want to be out in what we call the outer rim or other places that are unlawful or not controlled, being able to buy parts may be much more easier for you to do than if you roll up in an Aegis ship or if you roll up in a Mist ship. You may be able to find Drake parts much easier and less expensive. That may be the plus for you to say, hey, you know what? If my so-and-so goes out, I can get another one. You know what I mean? Or if I need to repair, my repairs are only 1,000 versus 5,000. So those are the things I want you to think about. You know, what are your thoughts about Drake's image in the game? That's pretty much what I'm looking for here. Let me bring in Pops in space. I didn't see who came in first, guys, so I'm just going to go down the list here. Pops, you there?
Oh, yes, I am.
Okay,
Yeah.
what you got?
Yeah. Well, I think what happens is another avenue. If you are a bad guy, not saying everybody that has one is doing criminality, but if you're a criminal, you would want to stay away from places like Cousin Crow's, popular places. You'd want to go into the dark alleyways. It doesn't make the product itself bad, but because it's more common, you may want to stay out of the light and stay in the dark. And Drake, because there's
so
plenty of
you're
them,
saying you're saying the dark criminal people are going to be buying Drake ships. Is that what you're saying? Even after I just made that big speech about them trying to change their image,
okay,
you're telling me that's who's going to be buying them.
It has nothing to do with Drake. It has nothing to do with Drake.
Okay. Well, I'm asking about Drake. I'm asking you about Drake's image right now.
But what I'm saying is it has nothing to do with them themselves.
Okay.
It has to do with availability to the market.
Okay.
And usually a lot of time when there's a plentiful market, you can get these parts in some seedy places, cheaper. You don't have to go to, a AutoZone.
Okay.
You may be able to go to the back alley.
Okay.
So that itself kind of pushes people that are in that type of business to go to the back alleys instead of going to, per se, Cousin Crows.
Okay.
So it doesn't make Drake itself bad, but it's just availability. They're plentiful, and you may be able to get them from the back alley. And hey, brother, I got these watches.
All right, y'all. Pops is still saying Drake stuff is cheap, and they're gonna be buying Drake stuff no matter what he says. Y'all heard him say that, right? That's exactly what he said.
Inexpensive doesn't mean cheap.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
I didn't say you said. I'm just saying it. Inexpensive does not mean cheap.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay.
All right, Pops. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
All right. Let me bring in Jay. I know Jay tried to come in earlier. Jay Voodoo Child. Jay, you there?
Yes, sir, I am.
Yes, sir. What you think about this Drake changing their image, trying to clean up their image?
I'm not a lore person at all.
Okay.
I'm purely spreadsheet oriented. I like doing things on the math side and that sort of thing.
Okay.
The way that I understand that CI is designing the differences between the manufacturers has a statistical impact on the product. And that's what I focus on. Yep. And so because it is Drake and because they are this kind of way, that affects my decision making on whether I go for a Drake ship or something else.
Okay.
So
let me ask you this. Do you think other players are thinking about that stuff? Like, in other words, are they just seeing here's a good example, right? The Mirais came out, right? CIG shows the commercial, and then they show, like, during the ISC, they show a caterpillar, and each one of them's got a Mirai in the bay, right? And so are people saying, oh man, I got to get a caterpillar because that would be great, and not thinking about Drake in the sense of, like you said, the numbers, value, how it functions in the verse, will it accomplish the jobs that I want it to do? Do you think that players are looking at these ships like Drake or that manufacturer when they're purchasing, or do you think they're just seeing cool factor?
Well, I think the Caterpillar example was something completely different because the Caterpillar was one of the original pocket carriers. To say, okay, we don't have a carrier in the game, but let's see what stuff we can stuff into the Caterpillar, and kind of convert it over into something that the community wanted.
Okay.
So I kind of think that's a little bit different. I mean, they also showed the Explorer, the C2? the Carrack with three of those snubs in it. Yeah. And so it is. I think for me personally, I think different people view different things. Some people really get wrapped up in the lore and want to, go that avenue. Yeah. There are all sorts of people in all walks of life in this game.
Okay. Fair enough. All right. Thank you, Jay.
Thank you.
Good stuff. All right. Let me bring in Scavenger. He hasn't been here yet. Scavenger, how are you?
I'm fully operational and available for service.
Good. What are your thoughts about Drake's image and accessibility of their ships and stuff?
There's a parallel to real life.
Okay.
Back in the 20s, the criminals bought Ford V8s because the V8s got them away from the cops.
That's right. Yep.
Okay. And Drake is the parallel to that system.
Okay.
Ford didn't decide to sell them, criminals, the hottest machines.
Agree.
So that's the parallel. Drake has a product. The criminals said, "Oh, we can use this," and there you go.
And reputation followed after that, right? Had nothing to do with Ford. Has nothing to do with Drake. That's just where it gravitated to, right? Okay.
Right.
I'm digging it.
That's where I'm going with it.
Okay.
So I'm out.
Makes sense. Thank you, Scavenger. Makes sense. Okay. Gave us some historical perspective there. Let me bring in Fist to Face next. Fist.
Hey, what's happening? Check it out, Griff. I'm gonna lay it out here.
Okay.
You talked about Drake's image, right? Trying to do it IA. Listen, Drake. Call yourself like it is. The red and black colors, we know where that's going. You know, a Sith is a Sith. You know, you can try to throw that line and try to do the whole Palpatine thing. And I want to say about I'm doing for the greater good. But yet on the other hand side, you're talking about I got unlimited power. Come on, man. Don't give me that.
Well, wait. Now Drake, I don't know. Did Drake doesn't paint their ships. Drake don't paint their ships.
No, Griff. Let's do it for real.
I'm keeping it real.
You know who you can't. You know who you catering to.
I know. Listen.
You know who you catering to.
They no. Scavenger mentions a good point here.
He does, yes, he does. But then after the point of fact, once you realize what you are selling and who's
so what, you
buying
gonna stop? You gonna stop selling them? Did Ford stop making V8s?
No, I'm not saying that they didn't, but they know who they did. They know what they're doing.
So what they supposed to do? What are they supposed to do?
Well,
start making V6s?
Own it.
What you mean own it? Own what? You think Ford was gonna say, yeah, we sold the car to Al Capone?
Own it. Own it. Own it. Own it. Own it.
All right.
Own it.
Thank you, Fist.
Yeah.
All right, let me bring in Kai Zen next. Fist and his Sith. Kai, you there?
I don't even know where to start with this. All right. So look, there's two things here. There's in game or in lore and out of lore.
Okay.
All right. So there's the answer to your question of what does this mean in game in the verse, and what does this mean to us as players in living on Earth in 2023?
Okay.
So in the verse, number one, he made the comment of, oh, well, look at all the criminals. Fist just made the comment, all the criminals buy it. It is also the number one ship, as this is in the lore. It is the number one ship of all of the militias. It is what the police use. It is the number one ambulance ship. It's what everyone, local governments, police forces, it's what people use. So if you look at, if you spend any time in North Africa or the Middle East, you're going to see a lot of Toyota trucks. You're going to see a lot of Land Cruisers. Does that mean that those trucks are being specifically built for warlords and terrorists and whatnot? Jihadis? No, it means that they're good, they're strong, they're tough, they work, they're dependable, and so they're sought after.
Okay.
Those people that fight and kill for a living, they don't have time to play around with image. They go with what works, and Drake works. Also, keep in mind,
by the way, that's a great motto. Drake works. That's a great motto. Do they need to pin that one? Go ahead.
Yes, sir. And also, if we're kind of keep this to in-game lore, I would point out that the reason why they were involved in this scandal of, oh my God, they sell to criminals and pirates is because one of their previous CEOs was recorded in a deal in an interview in a bar. This is all lore in the game.
Yep.
And they said, hey man, we sell to everybody. We sell to militias, we sell to this, we sell to that. And the person says, well, what about selling to pirates? And the person's response was, I don't care who we sell to. If they can afford to pay it, we'll sell.
That's it.
And that person was fired as a result of the PR scandal, and a new CEO was brought in specifically
to clean it up. Yep.
To clean it up, and that person is now marketing things upscale. We've got the first Drake ship with a toilet. We've got all like different things now. So that's the in-game lore response.
Right.
Here's the out-of-game response. Drake ships, best ships. As a Marine, let me tell you something. Drake ships are Marine ships. You talk about, look at the Cuddy Black is just the best all-rounder bang for your buck.
Yeah.
You look at the Caterpillar, it's the cheaper Crusader, what is it? The A2, C2, B2, AL2, M2, G2, R2, LMNO, P2. The Corsair is the cheaper Carrack.
Yeah.
The Buccaneer is the cheaper, heavy combat. All of these things, they ain't too pretty, they ain't too proud, but they get
work.
the job done.
That's
the
it.
Marines are about using limited resources applied with overwhelming violence and tactics to accomplish the job. That is exactly what Drake ships are.
Yeah.
If you're a Marine, or if you like the underdog, or if you're a belter loader at heart, then you gotta love Drake.
Absolutely.
Peace.
Oh, thanks, bro. Guys, good stuff. All right. Last but not least, let me bring in FC Fast Card. Hey, FC.
back. So yeah, I remember back in the day we first started Soul Voices. I'm sorry, Soul Citizens and Soul Talking shows, and I used to use cheap and inexpensive interchangeably because to me they meant the same thing. You're the one that got on me and said no, inexpensive instead of cheap. Drake is cheap, and I'm not gonna make any apologies or anything like that. Drake is cheap.
Well, I'm laughing at MT Stunner's remark. Drake said, "Remember I was talking about how I said Drake works. That's a great motto." He said Drake works at least until you run out of duct tape. So they're Drake tape
exactly.
brothers. So, no, to Kai's point, and I'm glad he mentioned about from a military standpoint, real world. If you are in a ship and you're doing something, you want quick accessibility. You want to be able to repair quickly and get things going again, right? As much as I love Origin, when you want to get to something in Origin, you've got to push this electronic button, watch this door open up, and watch the thing slide out on the rail. There's like maybe 5-6 seconds of doing that, right? With the Drake ship, you just walk up to the component, snatch it out, and throw it in, and you're done, right? And so I'm saying, from a military standpoint, things are designed for easy access, being able to do what you need to do unobtrusively. Things are right there in front of you. You can walk around, like last night, we were on the Phoenix. If you walked around the Phoenix and tried to figure out where the components are, they're all behind doors, and so you know what I mean. You got where's the shield thing? You don't have to do that on a Drake ship, right? So, I appreciate him bringing in a real world dynamic to Drake, and I'm glad he shared the rest of the lore about why they had to change their image. Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
Because Kai taught me something just now. Because in my opinion, I thought Drake images or reputation and stuff like that wasn't really improving, at least yet.
No, Kai.
But it seems like it is.
Well, I'm glad I brought Kai in last because that was the second part. I started up talking about them changing their image from IE, and I was going to tell the story at the end, saying here's why we start seeing this movement change. Right now, I didn't think about it in the sense of when he joked around about, like somebody said, the cutter now. You get these later ships in like the what's the other one? What's the one that they just came out with?
The Cutter and the Mule, or
no. The ship,
Corsair.
The Corsair. They got bathrooms in them. You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean they're nice. They're laid out a lot nicer. As time goes by. So and again, last year them taking on that theme of putting power in the hands of the people. To me, I think it's very cool. And I think the other thing too, Jay said something earlier. He talked about, even though he's not really into the lore, he really keeps track of it from more of a statistics and numbers space. What I like about is that CIG allows for those two to still be married. So even if you don't know the lore, if you know what the numbers are on the ship regarding shielding and weapons and everything else, it matches the lore. They're not different from each other, right? And if you don't know the statistics and numbers, if you know the lore of the ships, you know how they're built, you know about quality, then that matches up with what numbers are, So you don't have to know. You need to know one or the other. If you know both, that's great. But, if you know one or the other, you can play the game, and not feel like you're losing out on anything. So I think that's pretty cool.
And at least for my final point on this question, like I mentioned, to me, it didn't seem like they're improving in game, but I guess I'm wrong about that. But out of game, they're still cheap. Well, I don't mean
and let me say this too. I use the Caterpillar as an example. As are people being aware of what the ship could, is capable of, its build, right? But at the same time, I think there's a reason why they use the Caterpillar, because modularity is starting to become the thing at CIG.
Right.
And so even though they used it in relation to the Mirage, the Fury and stuff, I think the other thing is that they're highlighting that ship again, because we're going to start seeing some things happen with the Caterpillar. Those of us who've been around a long time, we remember when they told us that the Caterpillar would have all these different modules, a repair module, a medical module, this, right?
And not just different modules. You can use the same module to make a longer Caterpillar to haul more stuff. Yeah. Yep.
So I'm saying those of us who've been around know all that stuff.
Right.
But there's a lot of people who may not even know, that that's the deal. So yeah, we'll see what the evolution of Drake is as this continues on. I think that it's going to be interesting to see. But to Kai's point, Drake ships are out there in the verse because people can afford them. Basically, that's what it comes down to. They're affordable, regardless to build. Or remember, like when the what was that car? We saw him for a while when he first came out. Remember the Yugo when that thing came out?
Yeah.
And people went out and bought
like,
Yugos,
like,
you know, because they were cheap and they got them around, you know.
And I think the current generation can identify more with phones. Like you have your Apple, you have your Samsung, but then you have your OnePlus and cheaper phones and that you know, so cheap. So Drake it's a cheaper phone in this analogy.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, buddy. Thank you much. Appreciate you stopping by again. Alrighty. That was good with Fast Card. Okay. All right, gang. Now the next one I'm going to bring to you is actually the title of today's show. What about Star Atlas Citizen? We haven't talked about Star Atlas in a while. So I want to talk to you guys about it a little bit. Don't you go anywhere, Paseo. Don't you go anywhere. All right, because I want to ask a question. And listen, hey, come in and give me your 2 cents on this. I'd love to see what you think about it, all right? The question is this going to make you interested in Star Atlas? Now, I want you to watch this, okay, guys? So get ready. I want you to watch. Here we go. You ready? Here we go. Okay. All right. Pops was the first one in, so I'm going to see what Pops has to say. Well, you know what? I'm not going to bring Pops in because I'm not going to put the pressure on him like that, okay? But I'm going to show you guys. That was, they put out one of their ship commercials, right? Okay. So just hold your horses because I see I got 4 people already ready to come in. I'm going to show you the second video. Now, the second video they just put out is their trailer. And they have a showroom, right? Like we have our hangar. They have a thing called the showroom where you can bring out your ships and look at them. And now you can actually do stuff with them. But I want you to see something that they've got in this trailer. And I guarantee you're going to say, your jaw's going to open up a little bit, okay? But I want you to watch this. Here's the other part of the trailer I want you to see. Oops, I got to go back. Hang on a second. That was not at the beginning of the video. I wanted at the beginning of the video. Or was it? Oh, that was the beginning of the video. All right, never mind. Let me go ahead and start it. Didn't feel like it was.
Now arriving, Star Atlas Vessel Showroom.
All right, brace yourselves. Okie dokie, okie dokie, okie dokie. Now I can start bringing, oh boy, there's more people in line than there were before. I can start bringing people in. Let me bring Pops in. I think Pops was the first one here earlier. And let's see. Why is this thing not letting me drag anybody? There we go. All righty, Pops, you there?
Yeah, yes, Sam. You should just bring everybody in. Let us all have a free fall.
Nope. I can't handle that. That's Thursdays.
Okay,
That's Thursdays.
yeah,
Go ahead.
Listen. This is a big absolute no. The animations are old. They're stiff. It's like they went to the marketplace and bought jetpacks. Okay, they can be cool. But everything I see here is in the marketplace of Unreal Engine.
Okay,
everything.
All right. Okay.
Now
now Pops, I'm gonna give you one more, make one more point because I want you to take everybody's points that's up in here waiting in the room. Go ahead. What's your other point?
Okay, the textures on the ships look cool.
Okay,
that's all I'm. Okay, textures.
You give them credit. You give them credit for the ships.
Credit for the textures.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
All right, Pops. Thank you. I got to put Pops in the right room. I dropped him off in the wrong room there. There we go. All right. Let me bring in. Let's see. I'm gonna bring in Admiral Kusanagi next, and then I'm gonna kind of shift this around a little bit. Admiral, you there? Oops. I went to the wrong room. Oh, geez. How did I do that? Give me 1 second, guys. I moved my whole Discord channel by accident. There we go. Admiral.
There you are.
Yes, sir.
I'm telling you, it was an interesting chat with us all in one little...
I'm sure it was. Go ahead.
Right on mark. We just looked at the Pierce commercial, right? They showed all high fidelity stuff. That's the tip right there. And it is like he's right, because it's so pull back. Like it's really, really that they're not selling what they're showing. You're not really buying what they actually show in the commercial. They're showing you just it's kind of Star Citizen's in-game footage, and that is clearly not in-game footage. And I think that's the biggest take from that I see.
Okay.
And it just seems really dated, and it's a little scary for the amount of money that you're putting into the game. And those Iron Man boots, I think Kai mentioned in our group. What's the cost of those things? I mean, they must be $400 to get Iron Man boots.
All right.
That ship right there on the screen, the big vertical thing, is kind of cool, but it's also remiss of what we're getting from Star Citizen with, I think, either not the Banu, but with the turtle people, the Ninja Turtle people from.
Oh, the Xi'an.
The Xi'an. I think the Xi'an cargo ships are all vertical. So yeah.
Okay.
That's my concern.
All righty. All right, Admiral. Thank you much, brother. I've got some good thoughts. If I can, why is this good thing not letting me drag stuff for reason?
Well, I have more time. Okay, so.
Let me see. Why is this not letting me drag? Hold on. There we go. All right. There we go. All right. Let me bring in Fist to Face next. Fist, you there?
Hey, what's happening? Okay, so. All right. Man, this is supposed to be a AAA game, right?
Yeah.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, when we first saw this, I was like, you know what? Yeah, the jetpack. I just saw that on the animations of the flight module on Unreal, on the marketplace.
There wasn't no jetpack. He had on jet boots.
No. It's the same thing, but the concept is.
Oh, I get it. Yeah, but I'm saying, but it was jet boots. He's gonna come out his feet. They ain't a jetpack.
Yeah.
Jetpack's on your back. Call it what it is.
Is that the locomotion of flight?
Fist. It's jet boots. That's what I see on the screen. I ain't getting behind the scenes. Go ahead. So what about it?
Yeah, yada, whatever. Yeah, but listen, I'm floored because number one is the playable now thing. I'm like, okay, so here we go again.
Well, it is playable now. Here
we go again. You know what it is, though, Griff. Come on now.
It's playable now.
Yeah, right. We know the stink behind that one, right?
What Baby Star? Maybe Star Alice is playable now. You can do what they're showing you. You can do what they showed you in the trailer.
All right, let's see.
You can do it.
All right, we'll see. Okay.
All right. Thanks, Vince. All right. We got all of these Star Citizen haters coming up in here today, boy. I don't know. Let me bring MT Stunner in. Let me bring MT in. MT, you there? Let's see. Is MT there? There he
I'm
is.
here.
Okay.
What's going on, Griff?
No problem, buddy.
Well, I mean, no, there's nothing against Star Atlas, but it's just not. It doesn't make me interested in it. It's so funny though. Like I look at it as a compliment for Star Citizen though.
Okay.
I mean, I think it's a totally different type of game than most of us that back Star Citizen.
Okay.
Like as far as like the realism that aspect
Mhm.
goes, but you can see how many things are similar to Star Citizen.
Mm.
And you know that it's not going to be able to do anywhere near that, but it just shows you how revolutionary Star Citizen is. That there will be games like this that probably come out before Star Citizen does,
Mhm.
and they're going to be stealing little bits,
Mm.
Star Citizen that they think will make their game, really
Stunner,
good. So,
you went down the road that I was hoping some other people would catch, right? This has been over the past 3 years, roughly, I think maybe 3 years for Star Atlas. And they're reaching the place that for Star Citizen, we started out the same way. We started out with buying some ships that were all concept. We eventually got our hangars, right? After our hangars, we were able to get in our ships. They were static. They did the same thing. Their ships, you couldn't fly them at first. They were at the showroom. And now we came up with Arena Commander. And their showroom and their space area is just like Arena Commander. So to your point, they've literally mirrored the same steps that Star Citizen did, right? But technology has also evolved because of Star Citizen as well. So to a certain degree, and by the way, in case you guys didn't know this, many of the people who went over to work at Star Atlas, many of the artists and stuff were people who used to work at Star Citizen, at CIG. No shame on them. The artists came in, did the work they needed to do, and then once they were no longer needed, they looked for new jobs. This job came up. Some of them went over and started doing art. That's why some things may look very familiar. In fact, I'm going to go back and show the Pierce commercial in a second. And when you look at the Pierce ship and some of their ships that are on their site, you will see very reminiscent things of many ships that are in the Star Citizen universe. So to your point, Stunner, I think that Star Citizen CIG has kind of laid some groundwork for what other developers will be able to come around and do, maybe even a little faster, you know what I mean, than what CIG is able to do, because CIG is kind of breaking the ground. And once that ground's been broken, other people are kind of riding on the wave a little bit, Right.
But Star Citizen, our game, will eventually be the pinnacle of
that's what we're hoping for.
All the space games, yeah.
Yeah.
And all these games that come out between now and then, they're going to focus on specific aspects. They're going to take out little bits and pieces that are in Star Citizen and make it like the focus of their game, but they won't have the whole package.
Right.
Right. I mean, that's at least what I think.
Okay.
But yeah, that's it.
All right, time will tell. Thank you, brother.
Yep.
All righty. Let me bring in Kai Zen next. Kai Zen.
Hello.
Hey, buddy.
All right. So let me mute this real quick. All right, Griff. So, I'm originally from San Antonio, Texas.
Yes, sir.
Although I live in Philly now.
Yes,
There's a saying in Texas when you talk about somebody that's super, super flashy but has nothing under the hood, they call it all hat, no cattle. You're a big deal rancher. You got the big hat, but you ain't got no cattle. And with all due respect to the people who support this game and the people who are making this game, as far as I'm concerned, Star Atlas is all hat, no cattle. And to put it a different way to people who maybe aren't Texan or Texan inclined, it's all sizzle, no steak. So you say like, hey, this is a similar situation to the development of Star Citizen, and to a certain extent it is in that like it's similar, but it's a situation where Star Citizen started with a bunch of people that were, number one, known in the one guy in particular that was super well known in the industry for making one of the biggest, wing commander, one of the biggest things ever, and then privateer and et cetera, et cetera. He had the bona fides. He put it out there as a crowdfunding project and literally started getting like just massive support and everything. In addition to that, you've got a situation where they had network engineers and plans and all kinds of things going for it that they were like, hey, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, and they had great looking ships. These guys, I keep seeing, oh, they put out what do you call it? They put out, you know, like adverts for people to come work for them or whatever. All on the graphics, nothing on back end stuff, nothing on whatever. As multiple people have already pointed out here, multiple of these assets were straight up from the Unreal Engine stuff. So what you've got is a whole lot of sizzle put into one or two amazing looking ship models, and then the actual game universe just bought off of Unreal Engine. And now you've got NFTs, you've got ships that are hundreds of thousands of dollars or more. You've got things where people bought ships for hundreds of thousands of dollars and then have seen the value of it crash to the point where ships that were $40,000, $100,000, $200,000 are, well, now it's worth $3,000. And, oh, well, we're going to put this ship for sale for $1 million and nobody bought any.
Yeah.
Like, this is a whole lot of troubling kind of things there. And I'm not a hater. I hope they do well. I hope they surprise me. I hope they prove me wrong, and that would be fantastic. But I'm seeing so many red flags here. Okay. I wish them well, but I don't see it.
We'll see what happens. Okay. Time will tell with them, right? Basically. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Kai.
All right, brother.
All right, let me bring in Scavenger. Scavenger 676.
Oh.
Yes, sir.
I'm standing by for your reply. Anyway, I'm not impressed.
Okay.
I'm just not impressed.
Okay.
Now, I get it that I came into Star Citizen later than a lot of the people talking, but I just don't see the advantage of the NFT. I don't get it.
Let me say this.
Go ahead.
Because let's have two conversations. The first one is, are you okay with what you're seeing visually, graphically, as far as game goes? And then we could talk about NFT too, because this doesn't really, what I showed you today does not really even bring the NFT into, you know, the conversation, but we can talk about it. Okay. So as far as what you saw visually, is it something that you would consider? Is it like, nope, I'm happy with Star Citizen, or I've looked into it and it's just not pulling me? What's your thoughts as far as that goes?
I'm going to go with there can be only one Star Citizen.
Okay. Star Citizen for life, as Gio would say. No, don't go anywhere. No, don't go anywhere. Because I told you we have two conversations. All right. So you're not, even after seeing this, your head and heart is still like, yeah, okay, but Star Citizen, right? That's what you're saying pretty much, right?
Yes,
okay.
Absolutely.
All right. So the NFT side of it. My difficulty has been not just the NFT side, because just like Star Citizen is trying to do something new and different, I think Star Atlas is trying to do the same thing. There are other NFT games out there. Okay, let's be clear about that. So NFT games is not new. What I'm not sure about is how they are going to meld game versus, you know, the finance side of it, right? Because a lot of people, to Kai's point, who bought ships in the beginning, it was during the big NFT rush, right? Everybody heard about NFTs. They got this hype. They got this glossy looking game with all these beautiful concept ships. And just like folks did with Star Citizen, plus they heard, oh, and I'm going to be able to make money. Boom. They went and dropped ridiculous amounts of money. Anything from $20 to up to, well, at that time, it was up to $100,000 was their most expensive ship at that time. And people did that, right? NFT crashes, all that stuff starts to go away over the last year. And like Kai said, ship prices dropped from 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, even 70% lower than they were when they first came out. We also know about the thing that happened with the crash, right? With, it was the name of I can't think of the name of it. Somebody help me out with the crash that happened with the crypto crash with that company, FTX. That happened. They lost something like $15 million, at least that we know of, when that crash happened, which hit their bottom line. It took away like almost 6 months or a year of revenue from them. And they still had some revenue still available. I think they said they had 6 to 9 months of revenue or a year they could still exist. But then to Kai's point, After that happened, immediately these ships started coming out. Now, is that a business move or was it a part of their plan? We don't know. It would feel like it was a business move because they needed to generate funding all of a sudden. Maybe they weren't ready to release. Maybe they stepped up their game and said, hey, we got to start putting some stuff in people's hands that's tangible, or else all this investment we have may go down the drain. So there's that business side of them. I'm not sure, Scavenger, if that marriage is going to work, because I think gamers don't have a problem with the idea of making money passively is a lot more attractive to gamers than actively. If gamers have to worry about crypto and fees and all this other stuff that goes on in the background and making sure they do this, that, and the other, I wonder whether that's going to be something that gamers are interested in. Maybe the people on the money side of it will be interested, but then they won't be interested in gameplay. They won't be interested in lore and blah, 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 blah. They're going to be interested in how do they not only not lose money, but make even more money, right? So those are my problems when you raise the NFT issue about this. Is it seems like anytime you introduce real money into gaming, it always seems to bring its own unique set of problems, you know.
I agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
With the gamer versus
investor,
people who want to make money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong, I love making money in Star Citizen. I'm a space bum. I can't. I'm not making a ton of money, but I will make more money than. That's my goal, to be a space bum with the most money.
Okay. And there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. But, you know, it's not real money in Star Citizen.
Yeah.
It's how you deal with your existence in Star Citizen.
Within the game, right.
Within the game.
Right.
It's not real money. It's fake money. And
it's not you losing your rent. Basically, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
or your kids' college education or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, and as far as I've seen, some people have invested in this game, Star Atlas, with real money.
Yes.
Their kids' college education. I would never do that. Never. It's not gonna happen.
Okay.
I'm not giving you. I won't give you money.
Okay, fair enough.
I have a.
But let me play devil's advocate, and I'm gonna bring Fast Card in. But you did it when you bought stuff in Star Citizen. At least if I do it in Star Atlas, I can get that money back. It's an investment, and I can make that maybe. But guess what? With Star Citizen, you can't. All you got was a JPEG.
Yeah. But I spent $45.
Okay, if that's all you spent, then you're good.
Okay.
Let's say you spent less than $500. Okay, because that's what people will spend on a video game. Okay, that's what I'm saying. But even if it was that much, right? That's insignificant. Well, not insignificant, but it's not. You're not going to send your college. You may buy some books for your kid for college, right? But my point is that money's gone. At least if I play Star Atlas, I might get my $500 back. I might get $1,000 back.
That you might as well invest in the stock market.
Okay.
Which is a traditional system that everyone understands. And wham, bam, I'm gonna. You only invest what you can lose.
Okay.
And that's what I've done. I only invested what I can lose.
Okay. I'll buy that for $1. Thank you, Scavenger.
Thank you, sir.
Scavenger said $45. Take it or leave it. Okay. Let me bring in Fast Card. FC, you there, buddy?
Yeah, I'm here. I wish we were online when we watched the video. There were like 700 of us in chat queue just enjoying, having a grand old time watching the video. So what I'm going to do is on Thursday, I'm going to play those videos again so we can try to have that experience.
Oh my goodness!
But there was a lot to unpack in those two videos. Though, So how much time do I have?
No, look, you're the last person, so feel free. Go ahead. That's what you got.
Yeah, just want to address the last point you made. Instead of JPEGs, you got to call them PNGs now. That's the more updated version.
Okay.
So has Star Atlas figured out their metrics yet? You keep track of it.
It looks like they have now. When they first put out their what would have been like their first initial of the ships, There were
Yeah, they didn't look
collisions.
like
You could go through them.
Yeah.
There was some stuff that was wrong.
Some ships look too big. Some ships look
exactly.
too small.
I have not gone now that I think that they have, because now when you look at this is final product here, and their avatars are running through, and it seems like they've gotten it together, at least for this ship, right?
Okay.
You know, in CIG, you know, they've got them for every manufacturer. So
Right.
I'm assuming I have not. And some of you all know that I do have a couple ships in Star Atlas, but I didn't get them because I wanted to play Star Atlas. I got them because I wanted to see how this business model and things would work. And the only way to do it was to be inside and try stuff out. So I bought like a $20 ship and another two $20 ships so I could run their simulations and stuff. And I'm not for or against Star Atlas per se. I'm for it in the sense of more space games, and if it works and people can enjoy it, that's fine. I do have reservations about introducing money into this game because you know, Montoya said something fast cart that really stuck with me. What happens? Okay, in Star Atlas, what happens if something happens like FTX? Where something happens where somebody hacks in and you've messed with people's real money.
Well, not just that. What happened if Star Atlas decides to close their doors?
No. Games closing their doors happens.
Yeah.
I'm talking about investor money of players. Like when FTX people were misusing and mishandling money, and it impacted thousands of people's lives, right?
Right.
And I'm saying, what happens if somebody hacks into they have their own coin in there called Atlas. What happens if somebody does you can't refund? You see what I'm saying? What happens if something like that takes place? And guys, I'm not a big crypto person. I do have crypto, but I may not be using the right language. What I'm talking about is if something happens to people's real world money, what is the disclaimer? What's the waiver?
Like some kind of heist or something, or something.
Well, it doesn't even have to be a heist.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying. I'm saying the crypto. We know the crypto industry fluctuates, right? That we get. We realize there could be losses because of that. I'm talking about something malicious happens, right?
Right.
And so it's not like when something happens in Star Citizen. Well, we'll give you a refund on your this. But what you gonna refund people when their crypto's gone? You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And then there's always going to be people out there, and there's always going to be people out there trying to figure out how to hack in, right? Who are trying to figure out ways to steal people's money. So those are the things I'm worried about, because the crypto industry is not so solid and secure that people aren't always trying to figure out a way to get over, right? Like we have it going on in Star Citizen. You and I were joking around about people trying to buy AUEC and eBay and gray market.
Yeah,
but that's not even real money. But I'm saying that's not even real money. That's virtual. What happens when you introduce real money into the industry? You see what I'm saying? There's going to be people out there trying to figure out how to work around it and break in or do whatever. So I have concerns about that. I also have concerns about balance, security, balance. How do you keep investors happy and gamers happy at the same time?
I'm not sure. Well, hopefully they'll figure it out, but I'm not sure you can.
Well, will you have investors paying people in third world countries money to play their games for them, right? So they can make real money. Is that going to be a factor in the game instead of gamers playing?
Like wild gold coin and stuff like that.
Oh, I'm just saying. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of things being introduced in this where I see a future of possibility, but I also see all the devils behind the rocks that could happen. And I'm curious to see how they're going to balance it, manage it, if it can be. Maybe there is something that they'll develop. I also am not sure of where this game is going. I've seen the trailer and you've seen hints to story. They have lore, they have races, but I have a much clearer understanding of where CIG is going. Is all over the place. Chris Roberts can be sometimes. At least I do get a general idea. They got a white paper. I don't know if they have I can't remember if there's a roadmap because I haven't been following it that much over the last 6 months. They may have now, but even if they did have a roadmap, I'm talking about vision-wise. Where is this going? Okay, that's a whole other thing. And I'll give a third thing I'll give to you and you can give me your thoughts. As I talked about, a lot of these designs on these ships are very similar to Star Citizen. We looked at the commercial, we saw the bathrooms, kitchen areas, all these different things they label.
And a lot of people in chat pointed out that a lot of the developers and concept people came from Star Citizen over to Star Atlas.
Well, yeah, I stated that earlier. But my point is, will it have the true functionality? Because look at how much people push back on working toilets and washing basins and kitchens within the Star Citizen community. Will they build the lore in such that those things are meaningful in Star Citizen, or are they just cosmetic? Is that dining room table that just popped out a second ago, will you actually have to sit at that dining room table, or is it just a cool feature that pops up? Does the toilet work? Will we need to use the toilet? Those are things we know.
Not to be funny, but it could be said that Star Atlas may become the poor man's Star Citizen.
How's that poor man's? No, that's not poor man's. You gotta pay.
I'm saying, no, listen to me, because I'm saying in the way of game mechanics work, because it'll be much more simplified than compared to Star Citizen.
You're saying simple. You're saying simplified. I'm asking, is it even going to work? Is it just cosmetic? Is that toilet cosmetic, or will it have a game function like we know in Star Citizen will have a game function? And if so, you and I understand the dynamics of mind you, this is an MMO. This isn't a standalone. So they're going to have the same hurdles in relation to persistence and things of that nature. Now, is their universe going to be as big? I can't really remember. I don't remember their universe being as big as CIG's universe that they're creating. But my point is, some of the same technical hurdles that CIG is addressing, they're going to have to address if they're going to take that level of immersion and detail into their game. So it's one thing, you and I both know this, it's one thing to do stuff in a hangar, right? In a closed space, or into an arena commander. Their showroom is the equivalent of our arena commander. Okay, that's not the verse that we're seeing when we see this trailer. Okay, but eventually you got to come out of the hangar. You got to come out of the showroom, and that is where the real world comes in. Will you be able to do that? You notice that in their hangar, they just recently introduced there's going to be multiplayers where multiplayers can get on your ships, and CIG just introduced that into Arena Commander with us, right? So I'm wondering.
We've had an Arena Commander.
I'm talking about officially. Officially, Fast Card. Okay. Officially, I'm saying it hasn't been an official mechanic for multiplayer where you can get in other people's ships. We figured out a way to work around it. I'm saying it's officially there, because with them you couldn't do that either. Before it was just you in that hangar. Okay, now they're making it where other people can come into your showroom. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
And to answer your question, like, does it make you interested in Star Atlas? I'm of the opinion, if I can get one of the $45 chips for like $1 or maybe $5, I may get it. I'm not interested in.
You can get them. You can get them for $2, $3, $5 now.
Oh, you can now?
The prices drop. Okay, those ships, some of them, if you don't buy directly from them, there are people who's selling ships.
Right.
You can buy from them. It's all secure because it's all crypto,
And the average Snoggy put in that the ship that they're advertising in this commercial is $930. So
if you buy it from them, it's cheaper than that. If you go on the marketplace, in fact, I was on earlier. I just closed it down. We had to have an account, but no, you can go to the marketplace and look. But I think it'll show what players are selling them for, because they have their retail value, which they were selling. Because you see, Star Atlas can't sell them at that lowered price now, because it would make their backers would go crazy. Yeah.
Right.
So they still held their prices, but their people who were selling them will sell them cheaper now.
So if I can get one of the $45 trips for $1.5, I might get into it. But I'm not really, into the aesthetics in the game. It looks okay, but I prefer to look at Star Citizen and the Iron Man DC Universe superhero thing. Okay, fine. The racing thing.
Okay, wait a minute. I gotta ask you. When you saw the boots, did you kind of chuckle a little bit though? When you saw the
we all did.
Yeah. Okay.
In chat, we were all like, "Oh my god."
That's what I was telling you. I said, okay, there's something that you guys are gonna see. Your mouth's gonna open up a little bit when you see it. So I kind of like, that's actually kind of cool. I was like, okay, that's kind of cool. I'll give him that.
And you should have heard us when Playable Now popped up on the screen. They were like, oh no, not that again.
Yeah, well, that's what you got to say. You can't advertise about something that's coming later on. Now people want to be able to play it. So, all right. Thank you, Fast Cart. Appreciate you, brother. All right, good stuff. Good stuff. Okay, everybody, we have had our fun for the afternoon. Essay is a grift. I really appreciate everybody stopping in and hanging out with me here today. Let's talk about what we've got coming up. Today is Saturday, Podcast Saturday, where we've partnered with some of our friends of the Star Citizen community and support them in their broadcasts and shows. And one of those shows that we support is the Astropub with the Captain's Table. He comes on at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, about an hour from now, roughly, I think that is. So yeah, you guys check out Paul. He always has great content creators on the show. He brings on different guests and gets to talk about the latest and greatest that's going on in the Star Citizen community. And then after Paul's show, there's Relay SC, the OGs of the Star Citizen streaming community. Eris, Nakara, they're just a bunch of great people that they've been around for a long time. That's what I can say. In fact, we're hoping to have them on probably within the next few weeks for another show that we've got coming up. Shiver's on there with them. They're just a bunch of great guys. And like I said, they've been around for a good while. So they come on at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. So hopefully you guys will be able to drop in and check them out. Make your whole Saturday full of nothing but Star Citizen information to clog your brain more. And then tomorrow, we are going to be doing our review show. We know whenever a major patch comes out, we do a show that we title out Update Whatever. So tomorrow will be Update 3.19. We're going to talk about all the new features and things that are in 3.19. It's funny because a lot of people, when we heard about this one after 3.18, people thought 3.18 or 3.19 wouldn't have a lot of in it. But wow, there is a lot of stuff in this patch beyond just those things that CIG has been highlighting. So we're going to be talking about that on tomorrow, getting some feedback on that. Also tonight, as I mentioned before, on Saturday evenings, the Soul Citizens team gets together with you, our viewers and our followers and supporters, and we hang out in the verse. And tonight we're going to be doing that. We usually do it around 9 p.m. Eastern Time, where we go out in the verse and do some type of shenanigans. And tonight we are going to be checking out Ghost Hollow. So for those of you who want to join us, what I will tell you is this: please, 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 when you arrive, be ready to go. Don't arrive and say, oh, I don't have any med pens. Oh, I didn't bring my gun. Oh, I don't have any armor. Have all that stuff together when you get there. Load in 10, 15, 20 minutes ahead of time. Get yourself all set up so that when we load in to the server, we will be ready to go, because we are going to go. We may do something else too, maybe something to warm up, but we are eventually going to end up at Ghost Hollow. So make sure, yeah, Gladestone, I left my grip behind. Yeah, so make sure that you're all armed up and ready to go for our trip to Ghost Hollow this evening. Hopefully we'll find a nice empty server, because servers were running pretty good when I was in last night streaming, and today we're looking forward to another good server to be able to jump into. And other than that, I want to say that is about it. Let's see. I don't know who we are rating. Did you guys send me somebody? Let me see. Did they? Oh yeah, they did. Oh, Mega's on. Okay, cool. And then finally, let me do a reminder to you guys. As I said earlier, we are doing a fundraiser this year again for St. Jude. Whew, I didn't put, you know what? Give me 1 second, gang, because I need to do this so that it will be in here every week. There's always just so much to do in so little time. Let me put this in there. Boom. Let me bring this down to here. We are once again doing our charity for St. Jude for Play Live. You guys, please, please, please consider donating to the cause for St. Jude. We're raising $10,000 this year, which will culminate on the weekend of CitizenCon. And at different levels, we're going to be doing different things. And one of the things that we're going to be doing, let me check where we are right now. Oh my God. You guys are awesome. We started out the show at $100. We are now at $285. We are going to be at our first milestone of $500 fairly quick. This is so cool. So make sure you guys come back and watch the show so that when we do our giveaways, you'll be around for them. Thank you guys so much for that $185 donation today. We're going to be giving away Soul Citizens the swag. We're going to be giving away Star Citizen swag. We're going to be giving away ships. We're going to be giving away a whole lot of stuff. So $500 is our next mark. We are already past the halfway point just within 2 shows. But again, we're trying to raise $10,000 by October the 22nd. It'll be Soul Citizens Weekend. CitrizenCon weekend. And on that Sunday show, we will culminate it with whatever the raising is we're going to do. And of course, as I mentioned, at $5,000, we're going to give away a, what did I say? No, at $4,000, we're giving away a Starliner, a Genesis. And at $5,000, I know these numbers are going to change. I've got these are the old numbers in my head, so please forgive me. I want to say it was like at $5,000, the Genesis. At $7,500, we'll do the Banu Merchantman, and then I think at $10,000, we're going to give away an $890 or an Endeavor. One of those two. Okay, so I'm letting you know that now. Maybe you can pick whichever one you want. So that's going to be what we're going to be doing at that time. So yeah, hope you guys will be down and ready for that. Okay, I think that is about it. We are going to wrap it up. Now, we can't do a Soul Citizens weekend. That's too much work. We've already said we're going to do a 12-hour stream, so that'll be plenty to do. All right, we are going to be setting ourselves up to do a raid to Yo-Yo Meg. Yo-Yo is one of the citizens. Thank you, Fastcart, for putting that in, even though I think I'm going to have to adjust those prices because, yeah, I'm pretty sure those prices are not right. I mean, the different tiers. Yeah, I got to get the right one. I'm sorry. Maybe it is. I can't remember now. I got to go back and look. Anyway, we're going to raid Yo-Yo Meg. When you guys get over to Meg, make sure you guys give her a shout. Let her know that you came over from Soul Citizens. If you like what you see, of course, follow her. She is a wonderful, wonderful streamer, content streamer for Star Citizen. She's fairly new, just within the last couple of years, and she's got so much enthusiasm. So anyway, hey, Montoya, good to see you. Montoya shows up at the end, right? Anyway. All right, we're going to get going here. Thank you as always. And hopefully we'll see you guys tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern time for our review of update 3.19. As always, guys, take care of yourselves. Stay safe. Peace, love, and soul. We'll see you soon. Take care. Bye.